Happy Friday, everybody. How about those Mets? Let's go. That was nice. All right, we're just going to jump right in. Going to be kind of a short video. We've got the NLDS coming up tomorrow, so already starting to do some research for that. Looking forward to that. But we are going to have some bets today, and they're going to span the spectrum. We're going to go WNBA to hockey to college football today. So talk you through each one of those, but get into the recap. Obviously, what a game. What a game. Wasn't looking good for the old Mets, and then Williams blew it. Pete Alonso, huge 3-run Oppo dinger. That was massive. Pretty crazy. We had Lindor over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Said it yesterday. Dude's a gamer. 2 for 2 to start off the game. So hit that line, then he ended up walking and scoring, so he hit 3. We needed 2. Nice. Mets money line. I already talked about that. That was beautiful. Mets run line under 8.5 total runs. Nailed that, obviously. The one that we missed. Both pitchers under 4.5 Ks. Team total over 1.5. They both hit 5 Ks. Oh, that was gut wrenching. Quintana, hell of a game. Went so much longer than I thought he was going to go into the game. He pitched a absolute gem. Didn't look good. There was a surefire game plan. I think the Mets came out and they just got behind in the count every time. They were taking too many pitches, whereas the Brewers were the complete opposite. They came out swinging. They were looking first pitch fastballs, and they were looking to hammer them. So it kind of, I was like, oh boy, I don't like how this is starting. But it all ended quite well. So good job there, and happy we got the dub. Anyway, let's get into the bets today. So, like I said, we're going to span the spectrum today. We're going to start off in the WNBA. In the W, Caitlin Clark, Rookie of the Year. Do you agree? I would say the stats back it up, but if you feel something different, comment down below. All right, so if we look at this Liberty Aces team, or game, I should say, Liberty are looking to sweep the Aces, but this is in Las Vegas. I will tell you the Aces are pretty heavily favored across every single book. We look at the lines on this one. It's 166. I lean under. I feel like that might be, I think most people are probably going to go for the over. I see this being like a 84-81 Aces win. That's just kind of where I go with that. Individually on the player prop side, the player prop I like is Sabrina Ionescu under 19.5 points. Now, it's a tight line. She's gone over this in 50% of the games head-to-head. She's over in 3 of the last 4 games. Right? She's played 37, 38 minutes last 2 games. Season average, we look, she's shooting a lot. Average 14 field goal attempts during the regular season. She's taken 15 and 18. Not a little bit over. I think they hem her up tonight. I think big difference playing in Las Vegas. And just the way she's shooting, right? Her season average is 40.8 field goal percentage. Shooting 50 and 60% last 2 games. So well above that. There's got to be some regression. I think traveling back across country, big difference, New York, Las Vegas. It's a long flight. You're not in your home stadium. You don't have that energy and the momentum on your side. I just think we see some regression back to kind of that normal field goal percentage. But yeah, I see this game roughly 84, 81, 85, 80, somewhere in that range. But I do think A, the Aces win. And B, I like the under. So I'm going to focus on the under, and then Ionescu under 19.5 points. So that's where I'm at with those. Let's go down to the Oregon versus Michigan State. So interesting game. Oregon minus 23.5 is the spread. I don't know if anyone watched the Ohio State-Michigan State game. It was over pretty quick, I'll tell you. It was 38-7, which doesn't look bad, but Ohio State used their second-string quarterback, right? So they used Devin Brown. They also used their third-string quarterback, who his last name is Sayin, like just saying. So there's that. There's all kinds of memes you can come off of that if that dude ends up being their starter one day. But anyway, they used their second and third string team. Ended up winning 38-7. It was just an absolute beatdown. Now we've got Michigan State traveling to Oregon, where I don't like that. Oregon, they beat Oregon State 49-14, 34-13 versus UCLA in the last game. They've been on the road the last two games, so they're coming back to Oregon, playing a Michigan State team that just absolutely sucks. I mean, they are tragically bad. So I would say, give me the Oregon. I'll take the points. I'll go minus 23.5. I mean, Michigan State was turning the ball over like crazy last game. They were able to move the ball a little bit on offense, but every time it was just self-implosion after self-implosion. I didn't like the way the quarterback looked. So I think we've seen Oregon kind of start to round more into form every single game. They looked a little rough at first, that's for sure. But after these last couple of weeks, I feel confident they can carry this 23.5. Like I said, Ohio State took their foot off the gas really, really early on. So that game could have been 70-7 if they wanted it to be. All right, let's move on again. All right, we'll go up top to UNLV. So for UNLV, didn't see this coming. This is the first time they've been ranked in the top 25 in program history. I mean, they had nine straight losing seasons prior to this. Other side of the ball is Syracuse. So Syracuse, former Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord is behind center for them. He is throwing the ball a lot. 63.8% of the time they are throwing the ball. That is the third highest in college football right now. They're also the third highest in terms of passing yards per game at 358, I believe. UNLV, a lot of drama around them with their QB, Matthew Sluka, I believe is his name. Decided to redshirt over some NIL money, was promised X, got Y. So now they are turning to Haj Malik Williams, who was QB last week against Fresno State. I mean, we can't garner a whole lot against Fresno State. He did good. He was like 13 for 19, under 200 yards. How will he handle Syracuse, right? This defense is pretty decent, averaging just under 6 yards per play. But, I mean, it's college football, so under 6 yards per play is good enough to be a top 20 D. So they're, I believe, 18th in yards per play. So a lot of unknowns there around how this UNLV quarterback will favor against the Syracuse team. We see the spread at minus 6.5. I really don't want to touch a spread. For me, I'm going to go under 57. So I believe, depends on what book you're on, you'll find 57, 56.5. I did DraftKings. That's just primarily the book I use. I just bumped it up. I'll take the half point. It's 56.5 on there. Bumped it for minus 119. So that's how I'm playing that. But there are some books out there where it's 57 still. All right, last thing on the card today, NHL kicking off in Prague at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we've got a couple hours until that. We have the Devils and the Sabres, two teams that did not really play too well last year, and they went out and made some changes. Both teams went out and added some pieces to their team. We look at the Devils. They've been favorited in, I think, 7 of the last 10 games against Buffalo, and they won every game they were favored. So we've got some historical trends that kind of favor us there. I expect some rust. This is the first game. Hell, so there's some teams still doing preseason games. So this is kind of weird. It's being played overseas. I just think, you've got new pieces in play. They got to learn each other. I just think we see a low-scoring game. That said, 8 of the last 10 games have gone over the 6.5. So, I tell you guys what I think, but I also like to give the other side of that as well. That way you can make informed decisions, right? So we've got two teams that really didn't play well last year. They've got new pieces this year. They're playing overseas, first game of the year. Just so many things that add up to me and say, let's take the under. I do like the Devils, so that is where I am at with those. So let's get into our best bets. We're going to knock this out. So Ionescu under 19.5 points at minus 135. Liberty versus Aces under 166 at minus 112. This is a tight line. I think this is extremely tight if I'm being honest, but I do like the under. Oregon minus 23.5 at minus 112. Like I said, Michigan State is just trash. We've seen Oregon get better week after week. They haven't been home in a couple weeks. I think it's going to show out. And then give me Syracuse UNLV under 57. Like I said, you can take the 56.5. I took a little bit of juice on this. I just don't know what we're going to get out of Haj Malik, and I don't necessarily trust him. I think it's going to be a slower pace of play. We should see a lot more runs on the UNLV side. All right, we'll see how Syracuse does with the passing. And then parlay, only one parlay I like today. Give me the Devils money line under 6.5 goals at plus 210. So that's where we're at today. Like I said, NLDS kicking off tomorrow. We've got an awesome slate of games. We're going to break them down. We're going to go through everything we normally do. Appreciate all the support. If you can, give the video a thumbs up. If you like the channel, subscribe. If not, there's lots of other channels out there, and GG. All right, catch you guys tomorrow.